It's me! You guys! Good morning, friends. We're definitely of time. We're not on time, but it's okay. It's the morning. Good morning. Hello, hi. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody had an amazing Wednesday. It's just started. So amazing Tuesday. Amazing beginning of the week. We take those. Good morning. Good morning. I know Shorty Camp's back. Wait, Shorty, you thirsty? You need some water? You good? I love how like the new Shorty Cam is like kind of more in her face. You know, we take those. We take those. When the counter hit 300, I don't know. Like I feel like people just love Petty Shorty. Where's this at? There we are. Wasn't some lo-fi for a second. While we're getting started, getting situated. But I hope everybody had a good morning. How's everybody doing? Or is having a good morning? It is your best command. It's the 100% your best command. Yeah. I'm like not used to this new camera position like for Sam's. I feel like I'm like super zoomed in. You guys are like super in my face. Since we are running slightly late, I think we're gonna just go ahead and get started. Like we're gonna actually kind of cut to the chase and just start with Mish and talk to Mish. And so if people don't know my good friend not Mish, I'm so excited to talk to her because like she's I used to watch Mish so often back in the day, like and I still watch her, but like work stuff, you know, a lot of times I have work stuff during the day when she streams. It sucks, but like she is so like cheerful, happy, but like effortlessly good at this game, you know? And it's just always a pleasure to talk to her. And I'm excited to talk to her anyway, because we're both from North Carolina. And she's been playing this game forever. And she's been playing this game. When I was watching her, she was playing this game when I was still like relatively new to the game. Even though like, I don't think it was more that like she started that much ahead of me. Because we both started in 2016. It's more like I didn't have that much experience. Like I kind of didn't play DVD as much as I do now back then, you know? Like it was kind of like a more slow ramp up, you know? And I think as I got better at the game, I definitely started to play it a lot more. And so that's why, so back then Mish was like way better than me. And I was like, oh my God, this girl's so good. I'm like not Mish notes all the time, like taking notes about how to get better at the game. And yeah, and when I was thinking about how much the game changed this morning, it's crazy. It's crazy to know like how much this game has been different over the years. Mish took a 2.5 year break from DVD and streaming, and then came back to streaming late last year or middle of last year, and streams ever since. And it's wonderful. Like if you guys have not checked her out, she's so funny, so warm, so entertaining, so welcoming, and we kind of have the same brain in a lot of ways. Because like there'll be things that she'll do in game, and I'll be like, wow, I definitely would have done the same thing. That's so weird. So yeah. I'm gonna move this over because I want you guys to see this. I couldn't I couldn't do what I normally do, just have to adjust this clip real quick. So give me 1 second. But yeah, check these clips out about why you should be watching Not Mish, okay?
Dead. Oh, I'm running at him. This is awkward. I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable. How did I spin him in the We're actually kind of crazy. This Bang was onto something. It actually works. I haven't been hooked all match. Wait, how does he know? Oh my God. I almost, oh my God. 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 I'm scared. I'm scared. Stop it. Stop it, ghosties. I don't want to play anymore. It was a prank. It was a prank. Okay. Oh. Hello. Oh, okay. Wait, so what? Wait, so what? Oh, we have entity blocker. That's embarrassing. Okay, watch.
Amazing, amazing.
You see? You guys are doubters. Oh, wait. Together! Yes! Oh my God! I can't with this game sometimes. Imagine.
Oh my god. So I want to say that Mish Kylie put this together for me yesterday. Like she was just so sweet. This is like the sweetest person. I can't get over it. So thank you so much. Like so I'm so excited to talk to Mish this morning. So Mish, good morning, my queen.
Good morning. How
How
are
are
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm so excited to talk to you. Like, I love, like, first of all, like, when you start streaming again, I'm just like, tears everywhere. And, and then, like, just seeing you, like, stream and then, like, also, like, meet, like, because the DBD community has grown so much since when you streamed
Oh my
the
gosh, it's
first time.
insane.
Yeah, and like we talk about this a lot, but like we used to see like the same people in chats and like most chats, right? Like you go to stream, different streams, you see the same groups of people, right? And it is not that way at all right now. And it's because the community is so large and we take those, but it's changed so much over the years. Like it's wild. So, and I didn't even think about that because when I first was going to talk to you, I was mostly thinking about kind of how DBD was different from back in the day to now. But even streaming DBD is different from back in the day to now.
Yeah, it was honestly kind of intimidating, like coming back after so long because I didn't know anybody anymore. And like from stream to stream, I feel like everybody has their own like community now to where there's only like a couple shared people. Whereas before it used to be like you knew everybody in chat almost, you know?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It's just the game has blown up so much. And I remember like before Doctor came out, for example, I think DBD had like less than 10K people per day playing it, right? So that's how small it used to be, right? And then now on any random given day, it's like 50,000 plus, you know? And
Yeah.
that's just on Steam. Like there was no, like back then, right? There was just Steam, you know? Like there wasn't even anything else but Steam. And it's just wild how big it is now.
And it's crazy, like just how because there's so many new killers and survivors, just how different everybody plays now.
Yeah.
Not and it's not like before where like everyone was on Toronto, so we all kind of played similarly. Now everyone kind of has their own style, I guess, of playing.
That is so that's another great observation too. Like I want to talk so much more about that, but I kind of want to just go and just talk about how you even kind of came to streaming and came to DBD. Like how did that even start out for you?
Oh gosh. I was actually gifted DVD by a friend. So I didn't know anything about it, kind of just like jumped in, had never watched any streams on it. So when I first started playing, I actually hated the game. And it
Oh,
was before Legacy,
oh.
and they announced Legacy, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm not even gonna play this game really. 4,000 hours. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that is so hilarious though. Because like for me, I think I bought the game the first time the day after Legacy ended.
No, that's so sad.
It's not, but the thing is though, I have like been watching the game since like before Nurse came out, but I only had a Mac back then. I didn't even have a PC, and so I didn't so I was like I can't buy this, I can't like play this game anyway. But then at some point I was like, well, let me try to play it on virtual windows, and I've told this story before, so I'll keep it brief. But like but then once I kind of figured out how to play it on my MacBook, we made it.
Yeah, I literally I hated the game and I was like, this is so boring. You're just hiding. Like the people I was playing with too, like they didn't know how to play either. And it was just like so immersed. We were all just like hiding, healing on the edge of the map, like a
Oh
typical
no.
new survivor thing. It wasn't until I started watching like Tom and Daya and Jen, like those were like the first couple streams I started finding. I actually found Justin like hot damn
Mhm.
like the first day that I started looking on Twitch for Dead by Daylight, and then
Wow.
I was like, wow, these people are getting chased, like how? I didn't even know you could do this.
Oh Oh my god! Imagine watching like Hot Damn like as one of the first people you see in the community. That's
I
awesome. First of
know.
all, let's shout him out because we also love Hot Damn, who is Justin. We love him in the stream, so definitely go follow him. He still streams DVD, by the way. So go follow him. We love him. That's amazing. Like that, I just love that story so much. um and so it's so funny too because like the game was just like so different back then. And so like for me, like when you think about, because you'll hear people complain about things like D-Strike now and Borrow Time, but D-Strike and Borrow Time back then, you remember, girl, were like so much harder to play around.
Especially like borrow time now. Like I it's crazy to me that people complain about borrow time. Like that one is just like like I understand sometimes about DS, like in-game situations especially.
Hmm.
It get frustrating, you know? But like the borrow time thing, like before it was that was toxic. That was a bad part.
For people who don't know how borrow time used to work, so basically it works for the person who's unhooked. It works exactly the same way as always has, right? Like you unhook within terror radius, they have a certain amount of time before they get to take an extra hit for its endurance stats effect, which wasn't a stats effect for a long time. So it was, I don't even know what it used to be called before. I don't remember what it like used to be called, but it was like that Left 4 Dead 2 black and white screen that used to come up. Um, right? Remember that, girl?
Black and white. Oh my god. You couldn't see anything on that screen, no red stain, nothing. Like at least
Oh,
now you can kind of see it a little bit.
I didn't even think about that. That's right. You could not see a red stain. That's fucking. Oh my god, this game used to be so different. And so, but it also used to give that same effect to the person who rescued. So if you were good about like, and so the big thing during the game used to be like you couldn't waste your borrowed time during the game. Like you had to save it to the end of the game. Um, and so killers like didn't know you had it, where not you had it, right? Because like it's not like you had borrowed time the whole game. And I remember if a killer had like the stressing or monitor, you'd be like, mother, oh my god, I wasted my borrowed time. But then it was just a free escape. So basically you could just rush the hook, take a hit on the way to hook, unhook the person, take another hit, and run out the gate.
You did only get one borrowed time, huh?
But you
It's not
only got one borrowed time.
oh gosh. But it's also like you also didn't go down as often back then because there was a million pallets. So it wasn't like, now where, you're getting hooks constantly as killer, unless the killer was like Ryan or something.
Oh my god, yeah, Ryan. Oh my god. So both you and I mean, I don't know if you still consider yourself a Billy main, but I know you play like a ton of Billy. And I myself am a Billy main because mainly because I remember getting stomped on by Ryan Pez a couple times and being like, I really enjoy being stomped on by Ryan Pez. I also want
Yeah.
to play this killer. I want to give some other survivor that feeling.
He was so fun to play against. I actually played against him a couple of months ago, like whenever I first came back. And he was on Blight, and I was like, the whole game, I was like, dude, this Blight is so good. Like, how is he hitting these? And then turns out it was Ryan. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, so did you start playing? So for me, I didn't even start playing Killer until a bunch of you guys started playing Fortnite. I'm like, okay, I don't have my playing with. I guess I'll play Killer. But when did you start playing Killer?
I started after I was like done with Nia, basically. I mean, I got all the teachables I wanted on her, and then I was like, okay, like now what? I don't really, I was almost getting to a point where um I wasn't enjoying Survivor as much, and I was obviously I watched a lot of Justin, so he played Killer a lot, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a try, and I started playing a lot back in the day. And I really enjoyed it. And then obviously when I came back, like, oh my gosh, an overwhelming amount of killers were released while I was gone. Like there was like 10 killers that were released that I wasn't here for. And yeah, I just got back into it right away when I got back. Obviously, like it took like no time at all to get to rank one with
Mm-hmm.
barbecue and everything. And the new pipping system is a little weird. That was kind of I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it even now. Like when I first got back, I was so confused. I didn't understand what it was. Because before it was what you just had to get like 15K or 20K or something when you.
Yeah. Yeah, so the old it's so funny, like because back in the day, like the old pipping system used to be, you had to get 5,000 points in two of the categories. So and there's basically the two scoring categories, like chaser emblems, all that shit didn't exist back then. So it used to just be like you had to get 5,000 points in two categories. So you could theoretically like safety pip, for example, if you got like 4,999 in one category and 5,000 another or something. So I remember getting like a 12K safety pip, for example, back in the day. Uh, but but then killers, I think they were the first ones that, and I think you probably were still around then because that was around hunters. I think they had like the victory cube, where you had
Yeah.
to yeah, where you had to get it counted the number of hooks you got and number of sacrifices. So I actually didn't mind the victory cube. I used to do quite well in the victory cube because if you like hooked everybody twice and killed like one person, you would pip. That's enough for pip.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like fine with that because it was like pretty low key. But then they got the emblem system. After that, and yeah. And Billy still gets sticked over in the emblem system because of Chaser.
I don't know. It's weird. I feel like
Victory cube
al-
ruined the game. Oh my god.
I feel like it's almost more pressure to like 4K as well, like with this new system.
Yeah, because like when we were on Toronto, so back in the day on Toronto, right? Because like the community was so small, I remember, and I don't know if you had that experience too, where killers would like be so good, right? And they could like, they outplay you. They like had like everybody on death hook with like four gens left, and they kind of just lighten up the pressure. They'd be like, you know what, I got my points, and they just kind of chill the rest of the game. Like those games.
Yeah.
Those games were so fun because the killer like completely dominated you, but they're just like, you know what? Let's just chill the rest of the game. Killer double pips, you get your pip, you get your points, everybody's happy. It's like one of those win-win situations.
That's what I was saying when I got back. I was like, if people back then didn't care about winning,
They did
like
not care.
a win was not a 4K back then, it was like you could tell if the killer won back then. Like it was not, oh, I have the 4K to win this match. And the same for Survivor, honestly. Like I never was like, oh, I need to win this and escape. You know what I mean? Like to me, winning is like, okay, I had a good chase. Like this guy chased me for a good while, and I helped my team enough to where they can probably get out. That's a win to me, not necessarily getting out the door.
Totally. And then there also used to be like kind of like a code back then too, right? Like if you saw somebody like running something toxic in the game, like you would like
Say
body
it
block
back.
them. Remember that, girl? You
Blocking the infinites. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Like so yeah, because there used to be like yeah, when there were actual infants in the game, like especially in Toronto, if you saw somebody running that shit, you would like go body block them, you would like team up really with the killer. But like you would really like make sure that like that person died. If they're doing something shitty in the game, a survivor was doing something shitty, like the rest of you and your teammates would make sure that person died. Because you're like, that's not cool to do that killer. And it was one of those things where the game was just so like I just love that community aspect of the game back then, especially like in that first year where you remember the first year anniversary challenges that were community challenges where you had to earn cosmetics for us doing stuff in the game. Like that was fun because like especially because we kind of all knew each other, right? So like we would all like work together in game, get that mess done. It was like wonderful. It was like a wonderful period of time in the game.
Yeah, then I mean it led to a lot of farming, but
True, girl. Well, even I would farm too. I remember like distinctly being like, I would slow vault pallets so people could get their grabs.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god. And so one thing, even now for me, even though I never like took a long break from the game, but I didn't start streaming this game until well into my time playing this game. And so, but even since I've been streaming, I've noticed that when the top streamers in this game, I always used to think were people who were very experienced and knowledgeable about the game, like had all this like arcane knowledge, right? Like Baru, like Tom, Jen, Daya, all these people, right? They had so much knowledge about the game. But what I've noticed over the years is things have kind of shifted, you know? Like, it's not just people who are super, super knowledgeable. Like, there are a lot of big streamers in this game now who are super casual with the game, which is, I think, a good thing, you know? Like, I do think that's a good thing. And it's so interesting to watch, you know? Like, have you also kind of noticed that as well? Like, these bigger streamers who are kind of like a lot more casual, a lot more chill.
Yeah, I've noticed there's just like a bigger variety of and both like knowledge, style of gameplay,
Mm
just everything, honestly. Like it's not like and before every streamer, well mainly like a lot of the streamers that were killer mains had their quote unquote main. I
Yeah.
mean, you remember Swift, Nurse main, like everyone kind of had their killer that they were, and that's what they were the best at.
Mm
But
hmm.
obviously there was only like five options back then, so it was easy to pick one and that'd be your favorite. But now with so many, I feel like everyone kind of just dives into everything now. It's so different. It's so weird to me. Like when I got back, just seeing how different everything is now.
The other thing I remember, like one time going to a channel and seeing that somebody, like the big streamer too, I think Fog Whisperer now I think about it, Spooky Loops, his bill his redemption, he's a killer main, but his channel point redemption for Billy, it was 200k points. I don't know if it's still that way, but definitely was
Oh my
200k
god.
points. Yeah, and I was like, what is this? And he was just like, I'm so bad at Billy. I was like, ah! Because back in the day, Billy was like kind of like the everybody kind of loved Billy, loved playing against Billy, you know. And I'm like, that's how much the game's changed, though, you know, because so many killers are like, it doesn't take as long to kind of master anymore, right? Like I can't even. I think Blight might be the closest example of a recent killer that takes a little bit of time to master. Um,
You
but
know, it's funny when I first got back. I remember being in someone's chat and I was like new, like this was someone that I found, when
mhm.
I got back. And I remember someone in chat talking about how chainsaw killers were OP. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, what? And it made me think back. Like when I was new at the game, I remember Wraith used to be OP to us. Like I don't know if you were around for like at the very
I heard about that, but that was definitely before my time, actually.
yeah, Wraith was the one that was OP because there was no heartbeat. Like you never saw him coming. Nobody knew how to get in chases. So I was just like, oh, that's so cute. It's like it's so different now. Like what's considered OP now to like new survivors.
That yeah, exactly. But definitely some veteran survivors though still have that opinion about chainsaw killers still even now. They definitely have seen that before. And sorry, I definitely just cut on the redemptions and odds. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. So I cut on the redemptions right now. So if people want to check out the want to ask us any questions, definitely do. Feel free to do so. So when did you stop playing? So like I actually don't even remember now. Like so I think was it after Freddy that you took your break? After Freddy came out?
I don't remember in what order they were released, but I do remember the last two killers that I got to see. And I wasn't even playing anymore at the time. I just was still keeping up with
Mm-hmm.
like the releases, because I was hoping something good would come out and I would, be excited to come back. But it was Clown and Spirit. Those were the last two. And I mean, obviously, they didn't really interest me at the time, like not very exciting to come back to that. So after those two releases, I just kind of stopped keeping up with everything. I started a job, I was at a law firm, so like full time, I just was not even on my mind anymore.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit this year, and I didn't have a job. I was having so much free time, and I was like, let me just try it again. Let me see if maybe they've made some changes. It's been a couple years, and oh my god, I was like immediately hooked. I think because everything is just like so different, it almost felt like a new game.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. So, all right, so you came back like when, right after Pyramid Head or right before, right around Pyramid Head?
No, it was after. It was right before Blight, I think. Was it before? Yeah, I think it was a little bit before Blight.
That's right. Oh my God. Yeah. So tell me about that experience. Like, I mean, I don't even like, because like for me, every time I think about it, I was like, it's like Mish was like Rip Van Winkle, you know, like she kind of like was gone and she came back, and all these new killers are around, these new survivors, these new perks, these new metas that were around. Like, I just, it's so wild to me, like all the things that changed. I remember that we would play a lot too back then, and and you would ask a question like, "Oh yeah, that's right, that wasn't around back then." It's so wild.
Yeah, yeah.
So how was that coming back? Because like to me, I was like, "This is such a steep learning curve." But you already knew. It's not like you didn't know the game, but at the same
Mhm.
time, so many things were different. So tell me about that.
Well, for me, oh gosh, the biggest thing when I got back was like learning all of the new killers. Oh my gosh, it was like I felt so like helpless against certain ones. Like, whenever I first got back, I thought Oni was like so incredibly strong. I was like, it was almost like how we were just saying, like, oh my god, he's OP. Like, I can't do anything against this man. And now he's like my favorite besides Billy. Like, I love playing against him. But back then, I just felt that way, And
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, my first match against Freddie,
Oh, that's
I
right, because you like
was
the new
so
Freddy.
yes, I was so shook at my first match against Freddy. I was like, "Wait, wait, wait. He teleports now?" And then I was like, "Wait, wait, wait. He has these pools? What is this?" And then, like later on got palette Freddy and I was like, "Wait, he has fake palettes too? Like what do you mean?"
Oh my God, Freddy, that rework was like, it. Even now, it's like, what the hell? Like, there's so many parts to that rework, but Freddy was so. But to be fair, old Freddy was so stupid.
I mean, this is true, but like
Like,
that was like a lot.
it was a lot. I couldn't even imagine the teleporting, the pools. Like he doesn't slow
Yeah.
down when he places the pools. He can spam that shit everywhere. Like the
Yeah.
fake palette, like the everything. Like his killer, his powers are so weird and like right because we're used to like powers where hey, you have chainsaw, you steal somebody, you go invisible, you go uncloak, you hit somebody, you recloak, you put down traps,
Mhm.
you throw hatchets to you do this, and then under this condition this, and then in this situation they can do this, and then you have these health states, these different states that you can be in, and they affect you differently. I mean, the
Mhm.
list of Freddy's power list, if you guys like look at it, compare, like it's like this long, right? Compare like Billy's, which is like this. Well, I guess Billy's is longer
Exactly.
now because of fucking overheat, but oh
I
yeah,
don't
and
know.
overheat for Billy then was there. Oh god.
Oh yeah, they did add that as well. But honestly, I don't notice the overheat as much only because there's so many like indoor maps and like just where you don't have as much mobility, I feel like remember before it was just like Macmillan, Coldwind, like all of those have so much open space for him. Feels so nice to play Billy, like but now I feel like you don't get to use your chainsaw as much as you did before.
It's true. Even Rotten Fields, right? Because like Rotten Fields, like because of the way they changed it, like it feels like there's like this like chain of tiles like around the map, right? That you can just they just chain to each
Mhm.
other. Whereas before it used to be a lot more open corn. And so
Yeah.
it's interesting to see that now, because like now, like before, Rotten feels like a guaranteed, like, okay, I'm gonna kill you all on Rotten Fields unless you guys are immersed. And now
Yeah.
it's not so guaranteed because there's just too much shit in the way. Like there's like too much shit that survivors can use, which is good for survivors, because Rotten Fields used to be so shitty, but not so good for Billy.
Well, that's also like just the maps. They've changed a lot too while I was gone. Like,
That's
you know,
right, because all these unsafe. Because I don't think they had these like unsafe, so many unsafe palettes like they do now.
hmm the tiles are different. Like the amount of palettes, I feel like that are kind of closer to each other. You used to be able to link tiles very easily. Like you'd loop a tile and then run to the next one, and maybe not even have to drop the pallet at either one. Um,
Yeah, that's so
but
true.
yeah, yeah, that now when I got back, I was like, I don't have anything left on the map. Like, what do I do?
Exactly,
I
exactly.
felt so new when I got back. It was honestly kind of cute because whenever I stopped playing, I was just so like burnt out on the game, Like I couldn't find myself. I wasn't even watching streams anymore just because I was so tired of DVD at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Was there anything in particular that made you like tired of it? Like, or was there anything that changed, or was it just kind of just general DVD fatigue?
I think it was just back at the time I left. I feel like there was just a lot of um annoying things for Survivor. Um that it wasn't even like, I don't know, it wasn't even the anything to do with like how killers were playing or anything like that. It was mainly just like annoying things that were implemented that just made it unfun for Survivor. I mean, I remember while I was just kind of done already, um, Legion with his, oh, just moonwalk, don't
Oh
go down.
God.
Like
Oh
there was just a
yes.
lot of just, oh, okay, well, I already know I'm dead. Like just go ahead,
Oh.
like it just kind of boring.
Yes, yes. And then so for people who are newer, if you guys don't remember, so basically back in the day, Legion's men bar used to be chase based, so you had to be in chase, but certain amount, but chase but being in chase really meant that the kill like the chase mechanics of this game were kind of strange, but the killer needed to be kind of like looking at you and facing you, like kind of running behind you. And so what people would do is that they would look at the ground, they would moonwalk in order to force your min bar to go down. So even though you were still in chase, really, you're still running away from the killer because the killer was not looking directly at you, they could make the min bar go down. And that was miserable for weeks. Like Jen knows who's in chat. I would never forget this game against a fucking hillbilly who moonwalked him through his borrowed time state, and I was like, I can't. I have never been so aggressive in post game chat.
you
As
you still remember it to this day. It's in your diary. Like
Oh, no, I remember. Yes, girl. It was like I remember the map. I was like, it was on Tasha House, and I was so angry. I felt so because especially as a Billy maid too. I just felt so betrayed. I was like, you
yeah.
motherfucker! How dare you! I was like, how dare you? You are a hillbilly. How dare you have so little confidence in your gameplay that you have to moonwalk? I was like, the amount of lectures that people got in post game chat for me during that period were unreal. I used to be like, diagrams, be like, how dare you?
hmm Well, that also, I just saw what Justin said about Chainsaw Myers and Force Sprint Burst, and I am remembering flashlights with the wire
The
spool,
wire
and
spool. Oh, remember?
oh my gosh,
The wire spool flashlights. Oh my god. Yeah. So like, because the wire spool flashlights were so horrible because like, I mean, for me, first of all, it's before flashlights were nerfed because back then, like, um, but depending on your add-ons, flashlights, you could definitely they had the instant blinds, right, where you didn't have to
yeah,
have any skill at all to blind a killer during pickup. You just need to do it at because blinds were so fast. The killer was basically helpless. Um, and so the wire spool made it even worse in some cases because of the fact that it added so many charges. Your flashlight basically just couldn't die. Like it was just like be on like forever. And then yeah, the Chainsaw Myers. That was actually when I was so new. I was playing then, but I was like in rank 20, so I never saw it down in rank 20. But I saw
oh my
streams with
gosh,
it.
yeah. I saw Nurse with chainsaw. Like, can you imagine getting one hit down with Nurse?
Oh, oh god, like oh god, like this game. Okay, so we're gonna start. I have so many more. I could talk to you like literally forever, but I do want to play some games. So we can talk a little bit while we play some games. But I'm gonna ask you. Frankie asked a little bit ago. Out of the original survivors, which one was your favorite aside from Nia? Even though it was a hard question because Nia was your girl. Nia was my
Yeah,
girl.
yeah. Nia was like right away. She was the first one I P3'd and everything. I guess Claudette, everyone kind of played Claudette back then.
Yeah.
So I mean, she was the first one that I P3'd after Nia, so I guess Claudette.
Yeah, like I mainly I don't know if I told you so. My Nia main story is so fucking random, but like I also started off with Claudette too, but my first daily in the game was an 18,500 point daily for rescuing like 9 survivors off hook with Nia. And remember how
Oh,
18 remember when 18,000 point dailies were huge? They're like the
yeah.
biggest dailies you could get.
Well, that just reminded me. Another thing that I thought was crazy when I got back is the whole cosmetics thing. Like, do you
Yeah.
remember these like suitcases that were like $3, and you used to get like literally like 15 outfits or something, like a ridiculous
Yeah.
amount of outfits for like $3. And then I remember going into the store when I first got back because that was new. I mean, I'd never seen it before. And oh my gosh, I was so like shocked by the prices.
Right? Yeah, because I remember because I used to wear that Nia cosmetic from the Nia head from that 80s cosmetic they released.
Yeah,
And yeah, that 80s cosmetic had so many no, I think it was the head case that one came in, right? But that head
yeah,
case had like 2 head cosmetics for every survivor that was out at the time. So it was like
yeah.
12 or 14 heads or something like that. I don't even remember how many now. And then like the 80s one had like 2 pieces for like all the survivors too.
Yeah,
Um
Nia got 3 pants out of that and a couple shirts, like, that was a lot of things
They were
for
good bargains. Even like the killer one, I bought the killer sack too. And even though I barely play killer, it was like two
yeah,
bucks.
yeah, exactly, I
Like,
did too.
agree. Marin asks, "Do you miss Seven Blink Nurse?" I don't. I did not personally play when there was Seven Blink Nurse. I played when there was Five Blink Nurse, but not seven.
Yeah, Nurse used to be my Death Slinger or my Freddy back
Uh
then.
huh.
I used to hate going against Nurse, and now it's so hard. I feel like most nurses now just don't put in enough time into her to, like, learn her well, so I'm like, "Oh, it's a nurse, it's cool."
I can't get over it because yeah, same. Like if you told me in 20 like back in 2019 that Nurse would not be the most obnoxious killer to play against, I would never fucking believed you.
For
Like
real.
never. I would have been like, and that would have been like, wow, they released all these. How could that be true? They must have like nerfed her. That's what I would have assumed. You know what I mean? And it didn't. I mean, they kind of
Yeah,
did, but barely. But it's just that they've released so many more obnoxious killers to play against that
yeah.
Nurse is like not even the worst remotely.
Well, I think part of it too is that there's just so many killers now that people don't put enough to kill like time into a specific killer, and I feel like Nurse takes a little bit to learn, predict survivor movement, know where you're gonna blink, blah blah blah.
That is true, and like I agree, and like there's so many more killers that you don't even have to put any time in to do well in, like Freddy,
Hmm.
that it's totally understandable. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we're gonna play some games. What question I want to ask you? What is your favorite glitch actually that you remember from back in the day? Because there's like so many. Like, what kind of glitches do you like remember from like back in the day?
Oh man.
And while you do, I'm
um.
gonna put on my old school Nia outfit I used to wear back in the day, which is this, and like her P2 pants. That's like usually my outfit. I'm gonna wear my old build.
I used to wear the bloody pants.
Mm-hmm.
I was always this with either the zebra or the striped ones.
I remember. I was like used to wear like the P3 head. Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
remember. I used to always bring in like one brown med kit. Used to be my thing plus adrenaline. But I mean, I'm a flashlight host, so I'm bringing flashlights now. But uh, that used to be my thing back in the day. So we're gonna wear my old school outfit, wear my old school build.
Do you remember when killers could fly out of the map?
Yes, actually. Oh, that's another thing I want to ask you too. Were you ever a part of this Billy Space program? The Space Billy program?
Oh my god. I think that was probably my favorite one, I think.
God, that was so like when I used to see a Billy like in a tree on top of a building, like that used to be so
Yeah.
wild coming into those games.
There used to be so many more bugs, and I think that's why, like, all the time people will come and complain about, oh, this game, like, how can they not get these bugs out, blah blah blah. But I'm like, I feel like the bugs are not as like game breaking as they used to be, so I'm almost kind of like, whatever.
They
Like,
100% aren't. Like, do you remember? Like, I don't know if you were playing this. This might have been like during your break, but there was a time where when you broke a pallet, the pallet pieces were flying up into the air. And so you would see where a killer was, like, across the map. You'd be like, oh, a killer's over there across the map because you see the pallets flying up, you know? And so there was that. Or my one random one is when you could repair that that Blood Lodge gen from the bottom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could just, like, from the side of the building, you could just repair that gen from the bottom. I used to just go repair that gen there just for shits and giggles always. Or the basement. Wait, were you around for that basement bug? That basement bug was so strange.
wait, which one?
So the basement bug was when you, like, if you, like, went into basement as survivor, you would just be kind of like you would be desynced, and so you would be like, were you like under the map? It never happened to me personally, but I saw it happen to other people where we could see where they were, but the person who was playing, like, they were just like, it was like a black screen or something for them. It was so strange. Yeah, or you got hooked in basement, you would fall. Or another one is, do you remember that bug, Mish, where, like, you would get hooked and when you got unhooked, your arm would kind of just stick out, or you had that weird Naruto run, right? So basically what happened is back then, right, your you were never actually unhooked according to the game, and so your hook, once your hook timer kind of ran out, you would just fall through the map and die. And it would be so random. Like, you'd just be minding your own business. You think you got unhooked, you healed up, whatever, you'd be in chase, and you'd be dead.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the bugs now, they're just kind of like, yeah, they're annoying, but they're not like game changing, you know? Like, at least most of them. I haven't really seen anything that's super terrible. Besides, do you remember this was happening when I first got back? That hail that you would get stuck on?
Yes, yes. That was horrible.
Yeah. That one, I think, was the last one that I remember actually, like, actually changing the game. I mean, obviously, that's like a 3v1 at that point. Been around because this was, like, super early. But I actually started streaming from a laptop.
No way! I didn't know that!
Yeah, I started streaming from a laptop, and, I got, like, terrible. I'm surprised anyone even watched that. I think I got, like, 30 frames or something, and then someone helped me with my settings, and I got a whopping 40 frames.
Wow, I mean, that's pretty good for a laptop.
But that was off stream. When you're streaming, you lose frames. So in stream, I was probably at, like, 20 to 30.
The other thing is, like, when I first, like, found you on streaming, that when I found out you're from North Carolina, I was like, oh, I'm from North Carolina. That's amazing.
I know. I still don't think I really know anybody in the community that's from North Carolina besides you.
Yeah, and I think it was like maybe Tiger was the only other person I knew, but then I know my friend Caleb is from North Carolina actually. But to me, I was like so excited. Oh my God, my friend Mish, she's from North Carolina. Oh, he's back. And yeah, I remember it's like find out that we live like so close. I was like, oh my God, we have like such similar like thought, like personalities. Yeah. That's amazing. But I haven't lived in North Carolina for so long. It's been like, I think soon it'll be, oh my God, it's almost 20 years. Isn't that crazy?
20 years?
Oh, like in a couple of years. Yeah, I don't think I've lived there since I graduated from college. So, speaking of flashlights, so one thing that we were talking about in your stream actually was your flashlight save technique, how you like time your flashlight saves.
Yeah, when I first got back, because they changed while I was gone. I guess they changed the pickup animation.
They did, yeah.
To be shorter, and before you used to basically wait until the whole animation was over, you know? So
yeah,
I would always wait for like that little head tilt. Do you remember?
I do. I think for me, it was when the legs stopped moving or something, right? Like, so the pickup animations, for people who don't know, it used to be 4.2 seconds or something like that. So it's much slower. And so you used to be able to wait till the survivor was on the shoulder. And then I think their legs kicked or something. And as soon as the legs like were about to stop kicking or something is when you went. I think that's how I used to time it. And I remember finally getting used to flashlight saves around that time. And then they changed it, and it took me forever to master it after that. But and I started playing Killer around that time too, because like that's when they made that change temporarily, where you could blind at any point during a pickup animation. Do you remember that? That was horrible, actually. That was a horrible time to learn Killer.
Do you remember when you used to be able to push killers off of hooks? Like you could body block the hook, and
yes!
Even if the animation had, started, you could literally push them out of it.
Yes, I remember that. Or do you remember when killers could body block the unhook prompt? And so when you're using a face camp in this game, it was like for real face camp. Like you could not get the survivor out unless you had like an item. Like that. You remember that you had to drop an item in front of them?
To push them, yeah.
Yeah, to push them away, because you couldn't unhook from every angle like you can now. That was such a good change. And so you basically had to kind of use an item to kind of push them out, push them a little bit so you can get the unhook prompt. It was wild. The dumb shit that used to be in this game.
This was also the time of a trapper trapping under feet.
Oh my!
And you were basically dead at that point.
Yes, but that bug came back too. That came back briefly. Like some trapper figured it out when I was playing with Candy one time. Oh girl, I told that trapper off in post game chat.
No.
I was like, how fucking dare you? And we couldn't unhook her. We actually could not unhook her without getting stepping the trap either. Like it was horrible.
I didn't know that came back.
It was like it was not well publicized, and it was like a pixel. It was like 1 pixel that you could do it on. Mish, this was so fun. I'm so glad we got to play. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I was so excited to get a chance to play together. I feel like you get a chance to play very often, so.
I know, right? Like we definitely have to make time when we can, for sure.
Yes.
All right, so Mish, where can people check you out on stream?
I stream usually Monday to Friday, starting from like 11:30. I try my best, somewhere around then.
Same, girl.
Eastern, until usually like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So.
Yep, so definitely check her out in a few hours. We stand. Thank you so much.